Hey guys, this is Lee here. Have you ever been to a place or you want to launch a boat and you're kind of new to sailing and you really don't know where to put your boat into the water? Are you a little bit intimidated? That's okay, because I was there before. Like you, sometimes you just don't have this big open beach where you can just slide your boat and you don't have to hit anything. I'm going to take an example from my main club, Wet Pants Sailing Association in Sayville, New York, and I'm going to show you some tips and tricks on what to look for, how to judge the wind in the water, and where to put your boat in, because a couple of feet here and there could really make a difference between getting out into the water or hitting the bulkhead.
Heading for the wall! Bang!
So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel and smash that like button. I really appreciate it. So when I first learned how to sail, it was a lot easier to go out and sail into the water because I had my instructor with me, and they didn't go over the little nuances that I now know that really made a difference. My first time I went sailing with my own boat, I left off a huge beach with hundreds of yards, so I wasn't really worried about hitting anything. But then I joined my club, Wet Pants Sailing Association, and when I was trying to launch out of there, it looked like the canal was 2 feet wide. It's a lot bigger than that, but when you first start sailing and you don't have the confidence and you don't really know what's going on, you don't know the bottom, and the winds are kind of like medium, you really don't know what to expect sometimes when you're just in the boat for a few times. So I'm going to show you Wet Pants Sailing Association on the canal that we have to navigate, and after you do it a few times or several times, that really narrow canal that you think is really narrow is very manageable, and it only takes a few times, a couple of mess ups, and then you start to learn. So hopefully you get some good value out of this video and you could use it for where you sail and avoid the obstacles, the boats, the pylons, the docks, and make your sailing experience much more fun. So if you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comment section down below. I read all the comments. Coming straight out of the south. Today is much windier. So this is a typical wet pants sea breeze. This one is actually not that typical. This is coming straight out of the south. You see how the wind is making white caps on the bay out there. You can feel it. And the waves are much bigger. So this is a little bit more tricky because the waves are pushing really hard, and you can see the splash. When it's windy, it's probably blowing in the upper teeth right now. And it's higher tide. You see how the depth of the water is closer to the top, so it's higher tide, bigger waves. The water is splashing above the dock like that. You're probably close to 20 miles an hour, if not higher. And then that is generally a question of whether you're even going to sail or not today. Launching your boat is difficult because when you get it into the water, the waves are going to try to push you and the boat into shore. So it's kind of actually helpful if you have someone helping you put the boat into the water. One person grabs your dolly, and as you want to launch, you want to actually probably go a few feet up to your chest in water. So you're probably going halfway between this pylon and this corner. So you want to be launching out here. When the water's light, you can launch out here. The reason why you want to go deep is because when you put the board in, you can only put it halfway down, and you're going to slide to the left, or if you're starting to the left, you're going to slide to the right. But because the wind is coming out from the south, you're going to have to start way on the right. It's probably easier to start way on the right, even all the way here. Not here, not here, because you're going right into the no-go zone. And the sailboat does not sail in the no-go zone. So if you start here in the middle, you only have that much of the canal to sail. But if you start all the way over here, you have 3 times as much width from that corner all the way there. And that'll give you time to pick up speed, get your board down, and then tack right here and then go this way. So that's how you get out on a heavy south wind. Now if this is going directly south here. If it was coming from the southwest, which is prevailing, you could start right here and then aim for that corner as much as you can and tack right here. But you generally don't want to be starting in the middle to the left here, because you're going to be pushed into that bulkhead, and that's not fun. The only time you want to start on this left side is if the wind is coming from left to right. But at wet pants, a left to right wind is an easterly wind, and easterly winds are usually very heavy winds. Wow, the wind just picked up right now. Got this heavy. At wet pants, most of the time, if it's going straight from fire line, straight up and down here, or from the right, you launch your boat in this area right here, you go into the water in this area. It's relatively shallow, and unless you're really short. And then you go all the way, take this whole area here to pick up speed, get your board down, and then you can tack. If it's going straight from here and to the right, you do not want to launch your boat from here or to the left, because it'll push it right into this wall. If it's coming from the southeast, it's generally light. You can start a little bit on the left or in the middle, and you have all that room. It's generally a lighter wind from the southeast. See those light caps out there? I'm going to guess it's probably blowing about 17, 18 knots right there. Like I said, I take into account the sound of the halyards. They're constantly banging, bang, 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 bang. Look at the flags. I feel the wind. And those light caps are constant. Let's go inside and let's see what the indicator is. Yeah. So this is exactly what I predicted from my reading. So it's 17.9 knots to 19 knots. So just by knowing how the water goes above the bulkhead, yeah, and the flags that are standing up and the sound of the halyards, you could predict the wind. So if you got any value from this video, I'm sure you're going to get some value out of this video right here. And I'll see you on the water. Like that. I'm going to say predict it's about 12 to 14. You hear the halyard slapping and the American flag. Not straight out, flopping around a little bit, but it's mostly straight out.